Perfectly good tomatoes are being plowed over instead of picked. It's a sad scene happening in South Florida.
You can't even afford to pick them right now between the cost of the labor and the inputs that go in. It's more cost effective for the farmers to just plow them right now.
Heather Moling understands the struggles that farmers are facing right now. She's part of the family that runs the Homestead produce stand. Robert is here.
These are local tomatoes here.
She says farmers used to get $16 for a box of tomatoes. It's now down to $3 or $4.
Just a horrible price. Some of that has been from what Mexico is bringing into the country, and some of that has been just with the threat of the tariffs.
Farmers say President Trump's tariffs and the threat of tariffs have caused thousands of acres of tomatoes to go to waste because the cost to pack and pick them is more than what tomatoes are selling for this year.
About $250,000 to $300,000 worth of revenue. Just
left to rot.
Yeah. Which is one thing, but it's also lost revenue for the workers that would have been able to pick them had they been here.
Oregon farmer Ian Chandler says about half his usual crew didn't show up this season, leaving him scrambling to backfill dozens of positions.
You're calling them, I assume, individually
Yes.
and saying,
Yes.
what's going on?
Yes. And so
what are they telling you?
Well, in the beginning of the season, it coincided, unfortunately, with a lot of really strong immigration enforcement down in Southern California, where our workforce comes from. And that kind of had a chilling effect on people wanting to move.
While Ian says his workers are hired with what seemed to be a valid ID and work papers, fear of ICE raids kept many of them from traveling north this year.
This is the consequences when we chose the wrong direction. Oh my God. Yes. It is what it is. Make America great. Yeah, low prices.
They cheered for the war, voted for the crackdowns, and now their crops are rotting, their farms are shutting down, and they are filing for bankruptcy faster than ever before. This isn't irony. This is real life. Today, we are diving into how U.S. farmers, many of whom backed Trump's strict immigration policies, are now paying the price. Big time. According to a newly released USDA report, U.S. farmers filed more bankruptcies in just the first quarter of 2025 than they did in all of 2024. That's not just an economic downturn, that's a full-blown collapse.
Farmers across the country say they don't have enough workers to even grow or harvest crops. The president now saying he has a solution. John Bolts, the president of the Arizona Farm Bureau, told ABC 15 the farming industry is short hundreds of thousands of workers. And if something doesn't change soon, more and more farms across the country will have to shut down.
It's been a chronic work shortage. We don't have the folks to work on farms. It's causing farms to go out of business.
Bolts has owned Desert Premium Farms in Yuma for more than 16 years. He relies on the H-2A program to fill the workforce gap, a program that allows farmers to hire temporary foreign workers.
It's a lifeline. It's the only thing we have right now to keep agriculture working.
But many say it has major drawbacks.
It's a 9-month process. And then the workers that you get can only work for you temporarily and only for a couple of seasons. It's a big challenge the way the program is designed.
President Donald Trump is now working on a solution to address these concerns, which were underscored in recent weeks as ICE raids at work sites have caused immigrant workers to not show up to farms.
We're going to issue a form of a card or document, and the farmer is going to be responsible for these people. They're not going to have citizenship, but they'll be working, they'll be paying taxes.
Bolt says allowing undocumented immigrants currently in the country to work, along with modernizing the H-2A program, is desperately needed.
We need to design and build a simple, affordable, and viable seasonal and year-round program for agriculture.
Adam Schiff spoke with a farmer who said that 20 of his workers did not show up because they fear Trump's immigration checkpoints.
Iowa Bar farmer Joe Del Bosque told the senator 20 of his workers haven't shown up due to fears over immigration checkpoints.
If there aren't going to be people to pick the food, it's going to go rotten in the fields, and that means that the fruit that is and vegetables that are picked, the price is going to go.
Trump pretends to be an economic genius, but I guess he doesn't understand the basic law of supply and demand. Trump's immigration raids are hurting everybody in this country, not just undocumented workers, but also the farmers that rely on them and us. American farms depend heavily on immigrant labor. Over half of all U.S. farm workers are undocumented. These people are harvesting our food for poverty-level wages and no benefits. Tell me an American who wants to work in those conditions for that level of pay. But Trump's aggressive ICE raids have undercut that workforce, leaving food rotting in the fields, food prices going up, and putting small farms at risk. This isn't just inhumane, it's bad economics. These farms cannot function without workers. Trump's raids are not solving any problems, they're just creating new ones. If we really care about food security and fair treatment, we need immigration reform, not political theater.
Glen Valley Foods in Nebraska is likely going to be shut down unless they can rebuild quickly. See, immigration officials raided the meatpacking plant, and more than 70% of the workforce has either been detained or stopped showing up for work due to the fear of additional immigration raids. Even their HR manager has stopped showing up. Now, you'd say, it's Nebraska. It's a deep red portion of Nebraska. But Gary Rower, who is the owner of the meat processing facility, said he voted for a Democrat for the first time in his life because he could not stand behind Republican treatment of migrants. When 95% of his workforce are migrants, he could not allow what they were pushing to be on his conscience that he voted for it. He tries to do what's right. He verifies all of his employees through E-Verify, and when they don't pass, he helps those migrants on a road to gain the ability to pass E-Verify. And still, his facility was raided. He has more than 50 workers being detained right now by immigration officials, even though they're legally allowed to be here. And why was he raided? A report that he was employing illegal immigrants by the local community, and solely upon the color of the skin of the individuals that he chooses to employ, because people who look like me refuse to work there because that job is beneath them. Even when he pays $20 an hour for someone with no experience and upwards of $40 an hour for people with experience. It's not a great paying job to start, but it's an okay paying job in the end.
What's fueling this collapse? Labor, or rather, the lack of it. For years, American farms have run on the backs of undocumented immigrants doing back-breaking work for low wages that most Americans simply won't. But when Trump ramped up immigration crackdowns, ICE raids, and deportations, the message was clear. Get out.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
And they did. They left. And with them went the labor force that kept Americans' farms alive. California, Georgia, Iowa, across the country, millions of produce have been left to rot simply because there is no one to harvest them. Zucchini, strawberries, tomatoes, all wasted. Some farmers tried to raise wages to attract local workers. But surprise, Americans weren't lining up for 14-hour days in the heat for $12 an hour.
Why don't I hire Americans? The simple answer is we can't get the workers. No American ever calls. No American ever shows up. That's why we are so grateful for the guys that are willing to come and do the work here on the farm. We can't do this without them. And we can't do this with people in our local communities a lot of the time because when we ask, they don't come. Mass deportations would be an absolute disaster, guys. As a farmer, I look at it and I'm like, how would we exist without a massive portion of the workforce? If we don't have people to do work on farms, you don't eat. I don't eat. We don't exist as a country.
U.S. farmers are starting to regret their vote for Trump. From beekeepers to soybean to hay producers, all of them are starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax, to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States. Hay producers in Idaho and Utah that export alfalfa hay to China are now seeing 135% tariffs put on their product, and all of a sudden, they don't have anywhere to ship it. They held it all winter in hopes of sending it off to China in the spring, and now China's not willing to buy. Soybean producers are once again being hit harder than they were in the first Trump administration, and China, for its part, has diversified where it pulls these products from, with Brazil becoming the #1 soybean exporter and other countries picking up the slack for honey, for beeswax, and for hay around the world.
There's stories all over the internet about farmers going bankrupt across the country. And I want you to know, I want to feel sorry for you. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to care at all. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because typically I have empathy, but I'm really, really tired of telling you farmers and you people that are in rural parts of the United States, I'm tired of telling you what your vote does to you. Yeah, I mean, you guys in the red states, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're broke. You don't have any money. West Virginia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas. You get my point. You're broke.
So now they are broke. And it's kind of hard to feel bad when they knew their farms depended on undocumented workers, but voted to deport them anyway. This is the ultimate political backfire, supporting policies that destroy your own livelihood. One farmer from Nebraska put it bluntly: "We wanted immigration control. We didn't think it would hurt us like this." But that's the thing. Immigration policy isn't just about borders. It's about labor, food, economy, real lives.
The price for 1 pound of ground beef is now more than the federal minimum wage, guys. How crazy is this? And how far are they going to let these grocery prices get before they realize that regular people can just not afford this crap?
So have you guys noticed while shopping lately, a lot of the prices are each now? Like the peaches are 78 cents each. I'm going to just walk the area a little bit and show you guys some other prices. The oranges always been by each, but look at the oranges, 97 cents each. I think that price kind of went up. Let's keep walking and see what else they changed from pounds to each. We already looked at the peaches. Let me see. These are each nectarines. They're $1.14 each. Plums are also each now $1.32 each. So when you guys are shopping, make sure you pay attention to the price, because a lot of items are each now.
And the effects are trickling down to you, the consumer. Higher prices, food shortages, and broken supply chains. So next time a politician promises to clean house, build the wall, maybe ask, who is going to grow your food? Because this is what happens when ideology trumps reality. If you found this eye-opening, hit that like button, share it, and don't forget to subscribe for more content that actually connects the dots. So YouTube thinks you will like this video over here. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Au revoir.